Today, my friends, I have three really fucking good books to recommend you. All right. These aren't just any three books. These are big, thick, girthy books. The type of book that if you hit somebody with it, I wouldn't want to be them. All right. I get it. Big books. All right. I'm not talking 400 pages. I'm not talking 500. I'm not talking 600. Four digits, 1,000 plus a tome. Okay. These are the books that we're gonna acquire some balls, big balls, cojones. Okay, because I get it. You know, you see a big book, you're, oh, I'm scared. I can't read that book. I don't have the attention span. Oh no. I'm gonna get bored or I'm gonna get distracted. I get it. We're in the age of YouTube Shorts, TikTok, constant simulation. You know, you can just open up your phone and play Candy Crush. But I'm telling you, if you take that commitment and go on this ride, that decision to prioritize quality over quantity, you will not regret. All right? So, that sounds promising. Let's fucking start. So, book number 1. All right. And we're going to go from levels of starting from Gorilla Balls tier to straight up Dinosaur T Rex balls. Okay? So, let's go. Book 1. The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Now, when I first read this book, I swore to God it was the best thing I've ever read in my life. Not just the best thing I've read, peak fiction, peak experience. Okay? The Count of Monte Cristo, it is revenge incarnate. It is the revenge story to end all revenge tales. All right? And how do I even describe how good of a book this is? It's got everything. It's got adventure. It's got romance. It's got the 5-head 4D chess level plot. Okay, it's got great characters. It's got great writing. Okay, you know, if you like poetic, flowery language, it's got that in bounds. If you don't like poetic, flowery language, then give this a shot anyways, because some of the things and the way it's described, it's just moves you. All right, like for example, I'm gonna share you one of my favorite quotes from the book. And now, said the unknown, farewell, kindness, humanity, and gratitude. Farewell to all the feelings that expand the heart. I have been heaven's substitute to recompense the good. Now the God of vengeance yields to me his power to punish the wicked. If that didn't move you, I don't know what will. But look, the Count of Monte Cristo, this is how it makes you feel. It's like taking pre-workout, killing the squats, you know, and that feeling you walk out feeling like $1,000,000. Well, multiply that times 10, and you got the Count of Monte Cristo. All right. So, I'm gonna move on from that one. All right. This is, you read this, you cannot go wrong. Clocking in at, let's check here. Okay, this is a weird edition, but it's at least 1,000 pages. And look, it's very nice. You can find some nice editions out there. You can just thrift one. All right, putting this down. All right, on to the next pick. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. War and Peace. All right. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I wasn't looking at the camera, sorry. War and Peace. Growing up, when I heard War and Peace, I just thought it was a synonym for long and boring book. And I have no idea why. Yes, it's long. This is longer than the Count of Monte Cristo. And yes, it's old, and yes, it's, you know, a whole different country. It takes place in Russia, but oh my gosh, War and Peace. That title, it encapsulates everything. Reading Tolstoy is like listening to God narrate the story. Now, what do I mean by that? Tolstoy backs it up. When you're reading it, War and Peace, you constantly get these moments as he's narrating how he will describe human behaviors and patterns in a way that makes you go, oh my gosh, that's true. I never thought of it that way. And he makes you feel that over and over and over and over again. And the characters, they're just, out of any book I've read, this book and the First Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie, this has the most just fleshed out and real characters. And as you're taken across that saga, from times of peace to times of war, and you see how these characters grow and they change, and you grow along with them, and you see the beauty of the soul, and then you see how the soul can become degraded and how you can lose that beauty within you. And look, this is one of those books. It's not perfect. The Count of Monte Cristo is like crack cocaine half the time, just because of that damn plot. But War and Peace is a behemoth. I won't lie, there are parts that are straight up boring and challenging in here. Okay? There are parts where he literally goes out of his way to talk to the audience and tell you why historians are stupid and ugly and wrong. Okay? This is not just like a nice old ice cream sandwich where we're all happy and giddy and yeah. Okay? There are some greens, there are some veggies you gotta digest. But just like your mama said, they're good for you. They're good for you for a reason. All right? Believe me. How do I describe what it's like reading War and Peace? It's like taking DMT and living an entire lifetime, and you have this, and then having this eccentric old whitey tie you up and make you listen to his dissertation of theses and equation and theories and proofs, and then you just wake up and you just want to do it all over again. And I know that was super vague, but look, this is a plot of the story of Napoleon coming to invade Russia, and we get the point of view from a cast of Russian characters, both from history and both fictionalized, and it's beautiful. It's so well done, and it's something I'm definitely gonna go back to. That's how you know this is a great book. It's so long. Let me show you. This is long, and the pages, like look how many words are on this page. Oh, let's see what I highlighted here. Not unplanned, by the way. All right, this is a quote from War and Peace. If there is God, and if there is a future life, then there is truth, there is virtue. And man's highest happiness consists in striving to attain them. We must live, we must love, we must believe, said Pierre, that we do not live only today on this scrap of earth, but have lived and will live eternally there in the all. And this was a part when, so I mentioned Pierre and his friend Andre, like Andre is falling under basically nihilism, and Pierre was on this path of spirituality, spiritual awakening, and they were having a little bit of a argument / debate, and this was a quarter into the book. This book is full of just these beautiful conversations like that. Oh yeah, and it's also, reading War and Peace is also like a creme de la creme HBO drama series. If you like drama, you're gonna love this. Okay, it's that simple. All right, we got The Count of Monte Cristo. We got War and Peace. What's next? Well, the last book I'm gonna recommend you is actually, in terms of the reading experience, the reading the words, the easiest to read out of the other, compared to the other two books I mentioned. But what makes this special, what makes this biggest, you need dinosaur, mammoth level balls to read this, is because you're not going to find this book on any top 100 novels of all time list, okay? And that's because it's not a Western book. It's only been translated into English in the past 50 years. And there's a bias, okay, when it comes to these all-time lists. So when it comes to this decision to make the commitment to join the ride to reading this book, you're going to have to rely on your own eye test, all right? You can't have critics and the masses do your thinking for you. You're going to have to take a chance. So, enough edging. Musashi! Fuck yeah. So if you don't know who Musashi is, he's the most famous samurai of all time. Not because of his skills, although he was a dog. It's because he was the first true, in recorded history, philosopher warrior. He was truly about that life. Philosophy, the way of the sword, and spirituality all tied up in one. And, he has a book he wrote, The Book of Five Rings. It's not fiction really. It's a nonfiction and more of a manuscript kind of. It's an alright. It's a fascinating listen. It's more of it's like a manuscript about martial arts and incorporating it with a way of life and a way of thinking. It's pretty fascinating, and I do recommend just checking out. I'll skim through before reading this. So this book covers, it's a fictionalization because there's not that much recorded history about Musashi. So it's a fictionalization about his life from the first steps, his beginning, to how he becomes the most famous samurai throughout all of Japan. And oh my gosh, let me throw a couple things out there to see if this is the type of book for you. If you, as a modern man, woman, are into things like self-improvement, Eastern philosophy, martial arts, enlightenment, Japanese culture, then you will abso-fucking-lutely fall in love with Musashi. I'm telling you. So, what I love so much about this book is that you put yourself in Musashi's shoes as he is evolving as a human being, okay? And it's very much a great representation of the spiritual journey, because you see as his perspective grows, as he opens his mind, it's like he learns to see things in a way that he never saw before. It's like he was blind and now he can see. And that's true to life. If any of you out there walked this path, then you know what I'm talking about. And you experience that right alongside him, and it's wonderful. You see here how he strives towards perfection, towards enlightenment, the ethereal way of the sword. He's not going to the path of enlightenment like a monk, just sitting on a rock and meditating all day long. He's doing it through perfecting his swordsmanship in an unconventional way. He's not he's not in a school like all the other samurai. He's not a part of a house. He's completely self-taught. It is completely his own path that he's carving. And as he strives towards perfection, you learn as he learns how all of these other paths that people are walking are also paths towards enlightenment. So he sees nature in a new light. He sees the divinity of poetry and how a master poet is speaking divine words. You see how even things like the perfection of the Japanese tea ceremony is a form of enlightenment. And as you're reading this book, you just get filled with the sense of calm, of peace. What's great is that the chapters are short. Very, very short. You can just, what I did as reading, I just woke up in the morning, ate some tea, and read a few pages, and then I'd go do something else. I'd go reflect on that and go about my day. You know, I took my time. I know for a lot of you, if you get this big book in front of you, like, oh, like the first thing you're thinking is, how long is it going to take me to read this? And that might even cause you to rush a little bit because you want to move on to the next thing. And that's the problem. Why do we always have to move on to the next, the next, the next, the next? Take your time. And that's why you shouldn't be scared of a big book. You know? No one's asking you to read the 1,000 pages in one sitting. Okay? Take your time with it. Take your time. And you will be glad that you did. Okay? And that's all I've got to say about Musashi. So, those are the books. Yeah. And all three bona fide 5-star reads. For sure. Okay? And if you ask me which is my favorite, gun to my head, I'd probably just get shot and die. Depending on when you ask me. You know, if I'm thinking about life in like if I just meditated, probably Musashi. Okay? If I'm thinking in terms of like how I want to be as a writer, probably War and Peace. If I'm just thinking about, damn, that hit hard, right? That, it's the Count of Monte Cristo, for sure. But anyways, guys, that's the end of the video. I appreciate you tuning into Endless Satori. If you enjoyed my yapping, then please hit that like button, as it really helps me out. You know, I'm a new channel. I'm trying to grow, and every single bit of support helps. If you'd like to join the Satori movement to spread love, strength, and peace as we strive to elevate the consciousness of humanity, hit that subscribe button below. And remember to just keep swimming.